Hey guys, Ryan with the Driven Channel. I am sitting in my garage and I was just thinking that I need to do an update on my GTI. I've been slowly kind of changing a few things on it. I've done some modifications to this over what I had on the black one, and I kind of want to go through the mod list, ultimately sort of my goals with what I want to do with the car and why, and kind of go over the theme of the build with you, just because I haven't done too much content on this since I bought it. Basically, it's a 2016 Mark 7 GTI. It is a performance pack car. Got the lighting package, all that stuff. But I transferred over the IS38 turbo from my 15 GTI to this one. So it's got the ECS Ultimate kit, basically, which includes a turbo muffler delete, blah blah blah, the turbo blanket and all of that stuff. Same AWE turbo back exhaust, catless, which sounds amazing and is literally my favorite thing about the car. I did change this over to an APR intake, which was at the end of one of my last videos, which is pretty neat and I appreciate it. But I also changed over to a CTS intercooler. So instead of just running a stock Golf R intercooler like I did in the last one and heat soaking every time I gave it any throttle at all, this should help out with that a little bit. Right now I'm running the Eurodyne file as far as as far as a tune. Obviously the DSG tune and the actual 93 octane tune. It is an adjustable tune, which I think is awesome. Thanks Eurodyne for doing that. Basically what I have it set on right now is 22 PSI because I'm running these really, okay, so they're not crappy tires. Continental Tire, you make a great tire, but all season tires on a car with this much torque just don't work out. It just spins like crazy. So I'm gonna run 22 PSI until I get some stickier rubber on the ground come spring, or maybe here in a few weeks. But then I'll bump it back up to the 26 PSI. And then maybe in the future, we'll do a little bit more. First of all, I need to get this to the track. I need to see what kind of numbers it puts down. And that kind of gets me to my second point. What I decided to do with this build was keep it themed. And basically what that means is, instead of just doing a bunch of stuff to it and not having any real goal in mind, I decided to kind of set some goals for myself. Now, anyone who knows me, and if you've seen me review any Porsche product, which I've done a couple of, you'll see that I get really giddy when I get around Porsches. And basically that's because, when I was, actually before when I was a kid, but when I grew up, my dad used to tell me stories of him being a Porsche owner. My uncle took his driver's test in my dad's Porsche, which I think is a cool story. But my dad had a Porsche 914, which I know isn't like the fastest Porsche or anything like that. But these days, I mean, it's getting cooler and cooler, and I think the prices on those are coming up as well, which means I probably won't ever be able to afford one of those myself. At least that, and have any other cars. So I've always kind of had a thing for Porsches. It's been a goal of mine for a long time to get a Porsche 911. Basically what my theme for this build is going to be basically, I want to build my GTI to where it performs as good as a 997 Porsche 911 GT, not GT3. Geez, it'll never perform that well. Carrera 4, not GT4, which a GT4 would be a Cayman anyway. But anyway, so I misspoke there. But basically, I want this car to perform as well as one. At least on paper, I know it's not going to handle like a Porsche because it's not a rear-engine sports car. But I think that I can get there. I think that I can get the handling numbers there. If you're looking at all of the things that Car and Driver Motor Trend test, you're going to test 0 to 60, you're going to test quarter-mile time, and you're going to test, the 300-foot skid pad. Those are all of the things that every major magazine always tests. That's the first thing that, you always go to look for whenever you're reading through magazines. If you read through magazines anymore, most of it's all online now. But anyway, if you look at all of those specs, that's what my goal is for this car. And that brings me to my next point, which is sort of what I'm doing with the car visually. Some of you, if you follow some of my social media, may have already seen a couple of pictures that I put out there with the stripes. I'm promoting the channel while also kind of going with a theme, and again, the theme is going to be Porsche. So I'm going to change the camera around here and I'll show you kind of what I got going on. Alright, well, you'll have to excuse the poor lighting conditions in my garage. It is nighttime when I make some of these videos because I work 50, 60 hours a week. So anyway, so as you can see, we've added this stripe to the bottom. That is matte black. I want to thank Tiffany from Tiffany's T-Shirts and More. She's always been my go-to gal for stickers. If you have a Driven Channel sticker on your car, she made it. The previous windshield banner that I had on my last GTI, she made that as well. She did an incredible job. This was completely custom. She literally designed the whole thing just based on what I told her I was going for. And she printed it out, installed it. The price was cheap. Yes, I did have her install this. I tried installing it myself, and after about an hour and a half and about 6 million cuss words, I gave up and messaged her and said, "Hey, can you do this for me?" Which she kindly obliged. She even actually came and picked my car up and took it to her shop and got it done for me and left me a loaner car. Actually, it was Zane's Mark 6 GTI loaner car. But anyway, so what I've done with the stripes down here is sort of trying to emulate the Porsche 911 bottom stripe, which a lot of sports car companies kind of use the same thing. But it's sort of this triple panel stripe, and I'll put a picture up right now in the corner of the screen up here, right there, as to sort of what I was going for. Not the GT3 text, which is sort of more fancy and bubbly, but I figured if I was going to write, 5 letters driven in that GT3 font, that it would take up the whole side of the car and might look good on one side of the car, but it probably wouldn't look good on the other. So anyway, I was kind of just kind of fighting with the idea on doing that. So I decided to go with this style instead. I will have some new wheels coming here in the next few weeks, like I keep saying. But the other cool thing that I did, which a few people have already seen, excuse the mess, this is Sketch Garage after all, is I put on these neat badge inlays, which some people might call ricey, but I freaking love. If you can't tell, I'm sure you can. It's kind of got the Porsche badge hidden behind the Volkswagen badge, which I think is kind of a neat thing because everyone kind of knows that, Porsche is owned by Volkswagen. So, and if you didn't know, at one point, Porsche tried to take over Volkswagen, and Volkswagen said, "Nah, fam," and actually bought out controlling interest in Porsche, so it's kind of cool. Anyway, the badge inlays on the back. It's super dark back here, so I apologize for that. But I actually love the way it looks. The stripes on this side way more, but of course I'm parked in the garage to where you can't really see it very well. But anyway, I kind of wanted to go over that, talk a little bit about what my goals are. So the numbers that I am going for, hang on, I'm going to switch the camera back around here. So the numbers that I'm going for, basically what a Porsche 997, Porsche 911 Carrera 4, which is the all-wheel drive, sort of the mid-range, which is precisely what I would buy if I didn't have 2 kids that I had to haul in a back seat. Also, if I didn't have those 2 kids, I could definitely afford a Porsche more. Anyway, so basically, what that equates to is running like a 12.4, 12.5 in the quarter. I believe 0.95 on the skid pad, and 0 to 60 in the 4s, which the quarter mile stuff might be a little close. I'm going to try and do it on the new tires that I've got coming for it, without having to resort to drag radials. I am still going to see what it does on drag radials because I'm really interested to see how fast I can get this car to go. But we're going to see how well that goes come springtime, come the first Midnight Madness or whatever quarter mile event I can get to. Definitely we'll have video for you on that. But anyway, so yeah, so that's what I'm doing. If anybody has any idea where I can find a parking lot or an area big enough to run a 300-foot skid pad test, please let me know, because I have no idea how I'm going to do that. I may have to figure out maybe a 100 foot or 200 foot and just try and extrapolate the data from that. But I'm just sort of playing by the seat of my pants as far as that goes. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of go over all of that stuff with you. We're not going to call this the Porsche Killer. We're just gonna call it Isabel the GTI right now. But just know that that if you pull up next to this GTI, you may think twice if you're in a Porsche 911. Otherwise, all my Porsche friends out there, you know I still want your car. You know I know that my GTI is not as good, but that's okay because I'm stuck with it anyway. Because, you know, 2 children, whatever. Anyway, thanks for hanging with me, guys, and we'll try and get some more content out with you very soon. I know I am going to be going to a big event tomorrow. I don't know that I'll get some interview stuff on that, but I'll be putting out this video literally real time. So tomorrow will be Saturday, the Cars and Coffee event with the St. Louis Auto Show is going on then. So this car will be debuting there, and hopefully I'll see a lot of you guys out there. In the meantime, you guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see you on the next video.